A very warm welcome. You're watching Biggest Exclusive tonight. I'm Akanksha Swaroop. Now, tensions gripped the Dakshina Kannada district today as protesters expressed their anger over the murder of Bharatiya Janata Party Yuva Morcha worker Praveen Netaru in Bellary. The infuriated protesters also jolted a car belonging to Dakshina Kannada MP Nalin Kumar Katil and did not let him step down. Karnataka's CM Basavaraj Bommai has condemned this killing. He has assured that the miscreants involved in this heinous act will be arrested soon. But are his assurances enough? Here's more.
Massive BJP Yuva Morcha protests earlier today as the mortal remains of the BJYM worker hacked to death in the state's Dakshina Kannada district late Tuesday evening are taken for last rites. Praveen Netaru, known to be active in social and political circles, had left his poultry shop in Bellary village around 9 p.m. yesterday when unidentified men on a motorcycle attacked him with lethal weapons. He was brutally hacked to death. Tensions peaked in the area with the state BJP president's car being heralded.
It looks that it was a very pre-planned attempt, and such similarities were there in other cases. So we're studying the whole thing into entirety, and then we'll go to the roots of it.
A distinct hate crime angle emerges. A social media post suggests Praveen Netaru was targeted as he slammed beheading calls. Locals also suggest the killing was retaliation for the murder of a Muslim youth in the area a few months ago. Several right-wing groups have accused the PFI and SDPI.
Initially, report जो आ रहा है केरल का जो SDPI और PFI का लिंक है, ऐसे मैसेज मीडिया में वगैरह आ रहा है, मीडिया और सोशल मीडिया में. पुलिस इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रहा है. हमारे सरकार उधर जो है सख्त कार्रवाई करेगी और जो कल्प्रिट्स है दे विल बी ब्रॉट टू बुक.
The VHP has called a band in 3 taluks. Additional forces were rushed in from Mangaluru and Udupi. 6 police teams have been sent to Kerala and Madikeri and Hassan in Karnataka.
This is unfortunate. The incident took place when the innocent youth was closing his shop and going home. Such incidents have been happening on the coastal side for many years. Police have already started investigation, have requested police to ensure law and order is maintained. Anything might be the reason, but such incidents must not occur.
The Dakshina Kannada region has long been intensely sensitive communally. The latest murder says dousing long-simmering sparks will be a huge challenge ahead.
And so hundreds of BJP supporters and Yuva Morcha members took part in the last rites of the BJP Yuva Morcha worker Praveen. News 18's Ajit Kumar reports from Ground Zero. Let's have a look.
दुष्कर्मियों के हाथों मारे गए बीजेपी के युवा नेता प्रवीण कुमार नेटार की जो अंतिम विधि विधान अभी पूरा हो चुकी है और इस विधि विधान में हिंदू संगठन के और बीजेपी के हज़ारों की संख्या में कार्यकर्ता भाग ले चुके हैं और अभी आप देख सकते हैं उसके प्रवीण कुमार के घर के ठीक पास ही ये अंतिम संस्कार की विधि विधान चल रही है. कल रात 3 लोगों ने प्रवीण को हथियारों से मारकर हत्या की थी और पुलिस ने 4 टीम जो दुष्कर्मियों को पकड़ने के लिए 4 टीम को नियुक्त किया था और इस 4 टीम ने अभी जानकारी के मुताबिक 5 आरोपियों को गिरफ्तार करने की सूचना मिली है और अंतिम संस्कार की जो शव यात्रा हो चुकी थी उस टाइम हिंदू कार्यकर्ता ने बीजेपी के जनप्रतिनिधियों के से बहुत गुस्सा थी और वो लोगों को उधर से भगाने की कोशिश भी हिंदू संगठन के कार्यकर्ताओं ने की थी.
So Dakshina Kannada remains on an edge. Let's also tell you how communally sensitive Dakshin Kannada or these districts of coastal Karnataka are like. The latest storm has been over the BJYM murder of July 22. The Bajrang Dal murder happened in February of 2021. At the same time, let's also tell you about these places. There's Shivamoga. We are looking at Chikmagaluru, Dakshin Kannada, Kodagu, Mangaluru and Udupi. These are the communally highly sensitive areas. This is why Karnataka remains on an edge, because of these areas particularly. At the same time, we are looking at 120 communal incidents in 2021 alone. This has been the highest number of incidents in 4 years. There's intense polarization and radicalization among the locals. That's what reports have been suggesting. Seen as home of love jihad and conversion push. Remember, whether it is halal or the hijab row, Karnataka has seen it all. It is also touted as the Hindutva cauldron in South India. Analysts say ever since RSS started making inroads, the situation got on the edge. The row is over Malali Mosque fueling hatred. Remember, just a month ago, we saw the controversy break over the Malali Mosque. At the same time, PFI, SDPI, which of course is part of the PFI, the CFI are making big inroads in South. Of course, we know that PFI hails from Kerala, but it is also in Karnataka that we are seeing PFI now make roads. So that's the big question now we are opening to our viewers today. BJYM worker killed. Is the killing for faith in sensitive Dakshin Kannada? And with that, let's also introduce my guests. Today I'm joined in by Mr. Mohan Krishna, who is the BJP leader of the Karnataka BJP. I am also going to be joined in by Lavanya Balal of the Congress. I am for now joined in by Mr. Maulana Ali Qadri, who's an Islamic scholar, and Mr. B.S. Arun, who's a senior journalist. If I could come to you, Mr. Mohan Krishna, I know you've been answering a lot of questions today, but the biggest question right now plaguing BJP is that we are seeing a lot of anger within the local cadre in Karnataka, and it is not directed towards any outsider but within the highest quarters of your own party. What explains this?
Akanksha, the chronology of sequences, you have explained it very well. 121 communal violences in a year. Can you imagine one thing? The kind of issues. This incidentally or coincidentally, right from the day one, as Honorable Chief Minister Bommai has taken oath, from the next day onwards, the communal forces and radical forces, they try to destabilize the BJP government in Karnataka. That's evident from what you said right now. Coming to the question what you have asked, BJYM cadre showing anger. I call it as anger, not a protest or anything as such. It is very obvious in most of the places, in several places, there are protests against our own people asking to take stringent action against the culprits when they nab them. And our police already on the job, and very certain that I will tell you something today on your channel. In next 2 days, you will get a very big news from Karnataka.
Mr. Mohan Krishna, we've seen a lot of anger, and that was unprecedented. You cannot deny the fact that it was not directed towards your own party. We've never seen such kind of anger. It was unprecedented. Having said that, why was a BJP MP's car get out if the anger was not directed?
BJP?
We all know that Katil's car was get out, sir.
Yeah, see, you know the kind of, see, he's such a young fellow. मुझे भी बहुत दर्द हो रहा है वो दृश्य देख के, वो जैसा हृदय विद्रावक है वो, तो इतना छोटा उम्र में जो गलती नहीं किया, इनोसेंट था, उसको आप मार दिया, और मारने के बाद आप गुस्सा नहीं दिखाते कोई? गुस्सा दिखाते
No, but
दिखाते ही
no,
whether it is
that's where you are not able to get my point. The anger is not just directed towards anybody else, but your own government, which is ruling Karnataka right now.
it is not about the government, it is about the leaders. They see basically
And
we have to
leaders within the
understand.
party, absolutely. Leaders and leaders within the party. Let me also go across to my other guests, Maulana Ali Qadri. Whether it is the killing of Bajrang Dal members, Prashant Pujari or Harsha Nagaraj, and now Praveen Nataru, what explains targeting of Hindutva workers in your opinion?
बात तो यह है कि हम हर मर्डर को कंडेम करते हैं, चाहे दल का एक्टिविस्ट हो, चाहे वो बीजेपी का एक्टिविस्ट हो, चाहे वो किसी और पार्टी का एक्टिविस्ट हो, क्योंकि ये ह्यूमैनिटी के खिलाफ है कि किसी को भी मारना। पॉलिटिकल राइवलरी अपनी जगह है, एक दूसरे के अपने थॉट्स डिफरेंट हो सकते हैं, लेकिन मर्डर को हम कभी सपोर्ट नहीं करेंगे। रहा सवाल कि अब ये जो कर्नाटक का जो मर्डर हुआ है, पहले इसकी हकीकी माना में हमको इन्वेस्टिगेशन करनी चाहिए कि ये मर्डर के पीछे है कौन और क्या मकसद के तहत ये मर्डर किया गया। अब आप देखिए मध्य प्रदेश का भी एक इशू उठा और उसमें सरपंच से जुदा का एक मैसेज फॉरवर्ड कर दिया गया। तो हम ऐसा समझते हैं कि क्योंकि फिलवक्त एक सरपंच से जुदा का एक ट्रेंड चल रहा है, तो कोई अपनी जाति दुश्मनी निकालेगा और उसको इससे जो है लिंक करेगा। हमारे एजेंसीज को चाहिए कि सही माना में हम इसकी जो है इन्वेस्टिगेट करें और कल्पिट्स को जो है फौरी तौर पर हम अरेस्ट करें, क्योंकि हम नहीं चाहते कि
आपकी बात से मैं पूरी तरह से सहमत हूँ मौलाना कादरी, बट आपको नहीं लगता कि जो है कन्हैया लाल ने क्योंकि एक पोस्ट शेयर की थी जो कि नुपुर शर्मा के सपोर्ट में थी और उसके साथ क्या हुआ? आज हम जानते हैं कि प्रवीण नतारू ने भी ऐसी पोस्ट शेयर की थी जो कि कन्हैया लाल के सपोर्ट में थी, पर आपको नहीं लगता कि क्या लिंक्स एस्टैब्लिश किए जाएंगे? इसको सिर्फ एक महज ट्रेंड कहते हैं ना, कितना जस्टिफाइड है?
तो मैडम मैं जो कहना चाह रहा हूँ, मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि हकीकत में जब हम इन्वेस्टिगेट करेंगे और अगर ऐसी कोई बात निकलती है तो फिर तो हमारे लिए बहुत तकलीफ की बात होगी, लेकिन इसमें कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि कोई अपनी जाति दुश्मनी निकालने के लिए सरपंच जुदा के हीले में किसी को मर्डर कर दे, ये भी तो हो सकता है ना।
Alright, मौलाना साहब हमारे साथ बने रहिए। मेरे साथ लावण्या बलाल भी अब जुड़ चुकी हैं। Lavanya, if I could quickly come to you now. Karnataka is simmering with anger, which we've seen now spilling onto the streets, and this is not just anger directed towards the killing alone. Lavanya, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
All right,
please.
so I was talking about the anger on the streets that we've seen today in Karnataka, and I was saying that, you know, this is not just anger directed towards the killing alone. We've also seen that anger being directed towards the higher quarters of the BJP. And we are just not talking about BJP youth workers alone. We are also talking about other Hindutva groups, including the RSS and the Bajrang Dal. What are your thoughts?
See, unfortunate that it had to come to the fore like this, that we had to lose one more life in Karnataka. We had to lose one more young man for the political machinations of BJP. As a he's used, basically these youth or these youngsters are being used as political fodder, and we have seen one more murder today. My question is, was there an intelligence failure? Didn't the cops know about and threat to his life? Maybe his life could have been saved if the intelligence department had functioned properly. Now they're saying most probably the people might have come from Kerala. The question is, you are aware of people might have come from Kerala after the event. Didn't you know this before the event? What stopped you from protecting this boy? Or Harsha's murder, which is hardly 6 months.
Right.
Look at that. Look at how his murderers
and why? What explains the targeted killings that are specifically directed towards whether it is Harsha or even Prashant Pujari? Now today we are seeing Praveen. Why these targeted killings towards Hindutva workers?
I wouldn't say they're just Hindutva workers. They have an identity beyond being Hindutva workers as well, right? Now, my question is the same to the government. How are you protecting your party workers? If you are not able to protect your own party workers, how will you protect the common man who is not working for your party? What kind of protection are you offering to the youth of Karnataka? Your own party workers are being killed left, right, and center. What are you doing about it?
Mohan Krishna would like to perhaps respond to that. Right, Mohan Krishna, please go ahead.
I think Ms. Ballal has forgotten that 21 Hindus have been killed under the belt of Siddaramaiah when he was in power between 2013 and 18. That's one point. Second point, what is she asking? Can we not take care of our cadre and our youth? We are capable of taking care of that. The question you asked Akanksha to her was why only Hindutva and BJP people are killed. She is not able to answer because she is not even condemned the killing. Look at the audacity of the Congress today. They are happy that these kind of things are happening. These are the people who are responsible for this. Mr. Arun knows 173 cases have been withdrawn by Siddaramaiah against PFI, STPI. If that case and investigation would have happened, then
Mr. B.S. Arun, if I could bring you in on this.
Hello.
Mr. B.S. Arun, are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
Right. I mean, we heard what Mohan Krishna has to say. Also, I'd like to say that Karnataka is central to Mr. Narendra Modi's push to expand the BJP's footprint in southern India. What explains this lack of intelligence failure and the ongoing polarization? Mr. Arun, can you hear me? Can you hear my question?
You're asking me?
Yes, I just asked you that, South, as far as southern India is concerned, we know that it is high priority for the ruling government at the center as well. What explains this lack of protection towards their own party workers, towards the youth, as Lavanya was also pointing out, and the ongoing polarization in Karnataka and Kerala as well?
Yeah, this shows the failure of the government, especially after the Harsha murder, which took place about 6 months ago in Shimoga, another communally sensitive city. This is a pointer as to why the government has not taken proper steps in a place like Dakshina Kannada district, which has been communally sensitive for the last so many years. Ever since the pub attack incident happened in 2009, there have been a series of incidents in Dakshina Kannada districts and the nearby areas, the districts that you have mentioned. Almost on a weekly basis, the incidents take place there. The moral policing is rampant. Just 3 days ago, the Bajrang Dal entered a pub and then, stopped some party being conducted by by some youngsters.
All right.
The question here is not which religion or which party. Every death, every loss of life is unfortunate, be it of BJP worker or of any other religion. The thing is, ultimately, it's up to the government to stop these killings. If you look at the political dimensions in that region, no Congress MP was elected since 1999, which means ever since after 89, it has been the BJP.
Right. And not to forget that the RSS has also made heavy inroads in Karnataka. How do you view the changing dynamics as far as the politics in Karnataka is concerned?
No, BJP had for long treated this region as a sort of Hindutva laboratory. As I mentioned, the 2009 incident, and ever since then, incidents have kept happening. But the government is sort of failing, be it Congress government or BJP government. They have sort of failed to control these incidents. They may look small, but then the simmering discontent, the simmering tension has always been there, not just in cities, but in rural areas like the present one. Just about a week ago,
right.
I'm going
Mohan
back
Krishna,
to
if I could have a response from you, we just heard what B.S. Arun had to say. A lot of questioning, or rather answering to be done. Questions have been directed towards the BJP government, which is in Karnataka and at the center as well. How would you like to respond to what Mr. Arun is saying? Because of late, we all know that the BJP has been ruling there, and even the role that the RSS is playing. Many analysts are also questioning the role played by the RSS in Karnataka.
Akanksha, Mr. Arun was very courteous to say, irrespective of whether it is Congress or JDS or BJP government, has failed to check the or to curb the growth of these radical groups there. As I was stressing upon one point, Mr. Arun also knows very well, I stress upon that 173 cases in each and every wherever I go. And that is the culprit. Siddaramaiah, the culprit, has done this mistake. Today he is facing, Karnataka is facing this kind of music because of the Congress misdeeds.
All right, but what are the misdeeds? Are you talking about love jihad? Are you talking about the hijab rao? Are you talking about
absolutely.
halal?
No, let me tell you. I am talking of 2000, between 2008
and
and 13.
I'm quoting the latest controversies that are plaguing Karnataka.
See, latest controversy, we have controlled hijab.
Sure, Lavanya, please go ahead.
CFI.
For me, it is not surprising the way people have revolted today. It was a long time in coming. When you make use of our youth for your political purposes as a political fodder, this will happen one day. Very unfortunate is that today that a person had to lose his life for a wake-up call. The question is, BJP has been in power.
We need not have to learn from the Congress.
Have they punished? See, Harsha's killers in the jail were accessing video calls to their family members. And also, let me tell you, just before 2018 elections, their promise was, we will ensure no more Hindu youths will be murdered in Karnataka. What happened to that promise?
What does it mean? What does it mean,
in 2018, when...
right, Mohan, let her finish, Mohan.
When Sharath Madiwala was murdered, I would like to ask, what has happened to Sharath Madiwala's parents today? His father gave a statement few months ago that they were used as political tools and they have not seen a day of justice for the death of their son. See, no matter how defensive BJP gets today, they cannot ignore the fact that people have revolted against them. They can keep blaming Congress. My question is, what have they done when they are in power? Tomorrow, they are celebrating 1 year of Bommai's leadership. What are they celebrating? Are they celebrating the death of our youth? What are they celebrating?
More, Trisha, let's talk about the latest, and that is today. We've seen some very deeply tragic, unsettling visuals.
You're giving too much time to us.
No, go ahead. That's exactly what I'm asking you. There's a lot of answering to be done by the BJP in Karnataka. Yes, go ahead.
Let me answer to Lavanya Ballal. What does it mean to you? Lavanya ji, do you mean to say that we are celebrating killings of Hindus? Hindu youths?
It looks like that. Are you still going ahead and celebrating tomorrow?
Go and ask the people in Karnataka. Go and ask the people in Karnataka.
Cancel the celebrations tomorrow.
I'm not meddled when you are talking.
Cancel the celebration.
Lavanya, let him finish what he has to say. Lavanya, let him finish. Mohan, please go ahead.
See, are you going to say that because of your misdeeds of last 55, 60 years, people are suffering in Karnataka, people are suffering in India? And what are you saying? We are not able to take care of our people. We know how to take care of our people. We need not. We don't want to preach from Congress. Aapka dekhiye, from 400 to you have come to 40. From 122 to 68. Just look at where you are standing.
I need to interrupt. I'm sorry.
All right. Let's listen into what. Okay, Lavanya. Please go ahead.
See, I would like to remind Mohan Krishna, winning seats is not equivalent to any amount of life. You have lost a life, sir. Please stop the whataboutery. I would like to know, will you stop the celebrations tomorrow in Bangalore? If you had any conscience, you would stop your celebrations because it is your party worker who is dead today, who is murdered. Tell us why he was murdered. Tell us why your government failed in protecting his life. Mohan Krishna, please don't interrupt.
Tell me why the essential question still remains unanswered, and I'll refer to the poll.
Quick rebut.
Okay, go on.
1 year. You have done the 1 year, 121 communal violences. Why your people have not opened the mouth?
Does that mean there was no administration by BJP? That's my rebuttal. Was there no administration by
equally
BJP? So you
responsible.
failed as administration.
Opposition is also responsible. Opposition is also
How?
responsible.
We are not
you not
controlling law and
responsible?
order, sir.
Okay.
Mohan,
Mohan, the question still remains that, let's go back to 2018. BJP had vowed justice for Hindutva worker murders in Karnataka as part of their 2018 poll promise. 4 years on and just months before the Karnataka election, where do things stand as of now?
Akanksha, in 20 seconds I will tell you. These 4-5 districts, what you have said, Kodagu, Chikkamangaluru, Shimoga, and Dakshina Kannada, Udupi. These 5 districts will be surveilled and we will take them out. That whoever radical forces there will take them out. Let me answer to Lavanya. We are not going to celebrate our killings of our youths or our party cadre. It will be decided exactly. Not like you. Not like 75 years of Siddharamotsava. What has he done? What has he done?
Go ahead.
BJP has planned a celebration tomorrow to celebrate 1 year of Bomaiji's Bomai being CM. I would like to ask the BJP, what is it that they're celebrating? Is it the death of 2 youths from their own party cadre? Do they have any moral conscience to celebrate tomorrow? My question is,
Mohan, Krishna and Lavanya, I'm running short of time. I'd like to give the closing thoughts to Mr. B.S. Arun. Mr. Arun, such anger within local cadres of the BJP and other Hindutva organizations has been unprecedented in Karnataka, where their anger is not directed at external agents, instead at the highest quarters of their own party. What could be the political ramifications of this for the BJP?
Yeah, whatever the spokespersons of different parties say, the fact is this comes as a serious setback to the BJP government in Karnataka. That's because it has failed to control these incidents. It's not just this. This is seen as a sort of a retaliation against another murder which happened just about a week back of a guy called Masood, who is said to be from Kerala.
Right.
This place is it neighbors Kerala, so there is a close interaction between the people of the two states here in this place. So that's
the
one.
matter
And
is
second,
There are various angles being probed. The matter is currently under investigations. I mean, the fact that this is a pre-planned revenge killing is something that has been admitted by CM Bomai himself. What still remains is that Karnataka remains on an edge. There is a very strong communal divide, and that the ruling government in the state needs to do something about it. Having said that, many thanks to all of you for joining in this discussion. And with that, I'd quickly like to move over to some breaking news that we are getting in. There are now visuals of the Enforcement Directorate breaking the lock to gain access to Arpita Mukherjee's flat in Bulgaria. The ED officers have contacted the bank to bring currency counting machine to Bulgaria. Seems like a huge development now. We are going to be bringing you exclusive visuals as they surface shortly. But this is the latest information. The Enforcement Directorate is now breaking the lock to gain access to Arpita Mukherjee's flat. There you have those visuals also coming in. ED officers trying to break in, rather have nearly broken into Arpita's flat in Bulgaria and have contacted the bank to bring currency counting machine to Bulgaria. For more details, I have with us Ashish Mehrishi. Ashish, tell us, what can we expect now once the machine arrives, and how is the current development going to impact the ongoing investigations?
So no one expected this kind of cash at the house of Arpita Mukherjee. Now, I remember I spoke to my sources when the searches first began in West Bengal, and they never thought of knocking the door of Arpita Mukherjee. But when they found certain property documents where Partha and Arpita were basically joint owners, then they decided to extend the raid to Arpita Mukherjee. And then they found huge amount of cash, if you see, around 21.90 crores in Diamond City South house, where she has, in that society where she has 3 houses. Now, interestingly, during investigation, during questioning, they found 2 more houses of Arpita Mukherjee, and they were under lock and key. The enforcement directorate broke open those houses, and my sources in the enforcement directorate tell me that they've again found a huge trench of cash lying in that house. So the counting machine has been ordered from the bank, and once the bank officials come, then we can maybe have the figure. What is the figure that has been found till now?
What the figure is going to be emerging soon after the flat is broken into. Having said that, many thanks, Ashish. And with that, it's a wrap of this newscast. Thank you so much for watching. Up next is Plain Speak with Shivani Gupta.